Right, we're on. Right, I think we're here. Hello. I think we're on. Should be good. Don't worry, I was just getting the, compulsory cup of tea. How is everyone doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. I see some of you are already in the chat. I was like, 20 seconds late. No longer than that, No longer than that. Hello to Epic Videos, who was in first in the chat. Hazel, as always, in the chat. Exactly, you was right, Hazel. Hello to Barb Mac, first time here. Well, welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy yourself. How is everyone's day doing? Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. How's about that? Something different. Don't know why I'm holding this ruler, by the way. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Fletcher, John, easy. Yeah, easy. Easy one, easy. Right, I'm gonna pull up this chat and we'll just a chill out live stream. We'll go through all the data for what's to come, including all of the 10 to 14 days. I've pulled up all the different stuff today. I'm just gonna take it nice and easy. I'll read through the chat as we go along, and hopefully we'll see you all. I did put out a little post, and cheers for letting me know that you'd be here. It's great to see you all in the chat. We'll keep reading it and going back as we go along. Has been a while. It's only been a few days, Milton. I did try and prioritise making videos, but there was that Scandi high, and I didn't really want to overhype it or anything, so I didn't. I didn't mention it once. Why don't then we start with the UKV charts then, as we always start with. I'm going to move that over because, as always, I'm number one for preparation. It's definitely ready, right? So if I move that down. Yeah, exactly, nice and chilled. That's all this stream's going to be, nice and chilled. Now, I think that's in view. Yeah, hello to and welcome to the chat. Everyone welcome Barb Mac to the chat. Barb Mac, I should say, to the chat. Right, should we get on with this then? This is the UKV, and please let me know if that's all centred. I think that looks pretty good. You can just see the top. So we're starting from today. So cloudy and dry overnight, but there might be a little bit of frost in parts, as you'll see from this here, there. Could be a little bit of frost, patchy frost, but nothing too major besides maybe in central Wales there. However, as we go into Saturday, looks quite mainly dry. Winds are in from the southwest for the north and the west, which may introduce some wetter weather from off the Atlantic with like a shrinking weather front. Trying to approach from the southwest, doesn't get much further eastwards than the Republic of Ireland there. It does weaken as it moves along, does produce a little bit of rain into northwestern Scotland for that fizzles out through Sunday into Monday. A little bit of sporadic showers in the west there, some patchy drizzle possibly through parts of Wales, maybe a few little drizzly drabbly spots in the mix of this thick cloud. It's going to be basically dominant for most of the week. A couple of showers around, may even turn wintry over the highest ground in Scotland, but nothing too notable there. And then a little weather front, or a little low pressure feature moving in on Wednesday afternoon for parts of the south and west there, 3 p.m. on Wednesday. If we have a look at the 2 metre temperatures, go for max temps. Today's not been too bad. The far south and southeast has been a little bit cold with a little inversion going on there. Again, overnight into Saturday, might be a little bit colder. By midday on Saturday, it's going to feel cold throughout much of the country. Not getting much above 3, 4, 5 degrees. You can see the real mild air has managed to encroach into up as far as central parts of Republic of Ireland and into the far southwest of Wales. Southwest of England with like Cornwall and things. There with temperatures up to the teens, and as you can see into Sunday night, it's actually going to be a widespread frost with temperatures dropping towards freezing and below freezing for many parts of Northern Ireland there. Even along the east coast could be a bit of a frost, and then Tuesday is a relatively cold day with temperatures hovering around 1 to 2 degrees, and basically the whole country actually looks quite cold there, but the upper air temperatures aren't cold at all, as you'll see here. They're quite mild. But it's just like an inversion-y thing going on, with the longevity of the high pressure setting over the top of the country, which is causing temperatures to be lower at the surface. So it will feel quite cold. That stays throughout most of the day. Temperatures not getting much above 1, 2, 3 degrees in the east. Slightly milder in the west. It's kind of like the whole country split besides Ireland there, Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and southwestern England. As we expect to go through the week, though, another frost possible for many central and southeastern areas through Sunday into Monday, before that clears away, and then by 3 p.m. on Monday, still pretty cold, with temperatures 3, 4, 5, 6 degrees through much of the country. Again, slightly milder in the south and the west. Possibly into parts of northern England as well. I mean, not northern England, northwest Scotland there. Another frost possible, patchy frost though, across parts of northern England and the south actually, with temperatures not getting above, not moving much above freezing into Tuesday morning before 12 midday on Tuesday, reaching 3, 4, 5 degrees, maybe slightly milder in parts, but it's not particularly impressive. And then 3 p.m. on Wednesday as well, still looking quite cold for much of the country, with 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s and 5s being seen. The southeast seeing 6s and 7s. Obviously could be a bit higher through the day because there's sometimes the model does underdo things like this, but I'd say it's pretty accurate. Should we have a read through some of your chattos then? I did plenty of tea and cake, yeah. I've got the tea, I ain't got the cake. Milton said, to be fair, the weather been very quiet and not much going on. It has been very quiet, but it is nice, you know what I mean? It's not too bad. Few weeks when the snow came, it's gone. Yeah, it didn't last long. Please bring us some warm sunshine. Danny, I mean, this is not bringing you warm sunshine. It's bringing dry weather, though. It does feel cold, though. What did... What's I reading? Hazel, please don't mention it. Oh, okay. What do you mean? Well, I wanted to show something different today, actually, because I feel like I show the same things. 24 of you in the chat. Cheers all for joining. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and I'd really appreciate it. We'll keep checking the chat and checking back. Bakewell tarts. Not too bad, you know. I'd stick to me apples. Apples are better. So, right, we'll look at this next time. Hopefully you can see the chat there. There we go. Right, so we're focusing on this now. This is the Atlantic, this here is the Atlantic oscillation. Or is it the Arctic? I don't know. It's the AO. It's either the Atlantic or the Arctic oscillation. I think it's the Atlantic oscillation. And then you've got the North Atlantic oscillation. Yeah. So, as you can see, as we go into the next week, so if it's in the positive range, which is above 0 here, as you can just see marked by this line. Wow, that was pretty straight until the very end. If it goes positive, if it goes into a positive phase, you are likely to see a stronger polar vortex, stronger low pressure systems moving in from off the Atlantic, bringing in milder conditions. As you can see from the AO, at least, the prediction is for it to be going positive. Not extremely positive like here in mid-October, but positive, which means that it is unlikely to see any colder weather develop as the Atlantic is powering up and bringing in all the wet weather, the jet streams powering up, carrying all them low pressures from off the North Atlantic straight to the UK and bringing in the deluge. Now, if you have a look at the NAO, it is very similar. If both are positive, then that usually means that there's good agreement that there will probably be westerlies dominant, unless there's some Scandi high or something. It tried to develop on the models and failed. If they're both going negative, that's a good sign for blocking. Actually, it can encourage blocking to get going towards Greenland, but there's many other factors that need to come into play for that to happen. Now, as you can see with the NAO, it has been a little bit negative at the moment, but it is going to rise to weekly positive as well. So both signs do not look good to support cold weather. They actually look quite mild signals. Should we get on with some model data then? Enough rambling on about other things. But I just want to explain it in case anyone was new and didn't really know. And I hope I helped anyone new out. I always want to explain what's going on. What's going on? It's not been too bad on the Malvern Hills. Even had some sunshine. Nice. Yeah, it's not been too bad here, actually. It has felt a bit cold. Look at that beast of a low. Good lord, yeah. Yeah, nothing better than Bakewell tarts straight from Bakewell. Well, to be fair, them ones in the Bakewell tarts packaging aren't too bad. Nice, I'm on the wine and ice cream. Ice cream's one of my favourites. So it's unfortunate when people eat it right in front of me, and you know, preparing it, and I'm getting my live stream ready, and I don't get any. No, I'm joking. This is better anyway. Who wants ice cream when you can stream on Send It's Weather channel? So as you can see, for the weekend, things are actually going to be quite cold in many areas. But winds are in from the southwest for many parts. They're coming from a very mild wind direction. With mild air masses, however, at the surface, it's not going to be anything spectacular. Remember, the longevity of the high pressure is important because the longer it stays around, the more likely it is to be colder at the surface because inversions and different things can take place. High pressure again, so around Tuesday, Wednesday, it still looks quite dry and quite cold. Just because the high pressure stuck around for so long. High pressure is in the Atlantic, trying to ridge northwards. However, it is unsuccessful as low pressure's rattling from off the Atlantic, and in comes the deluge. And look at that stormy low moving in. I mean, that is going to be a name story if that came off from the UK Met there. Doesn't look good. Epic Video said, I remember when Storm Lillian hit in August last year, brought strong winds to me and my trampoline knew blue, but we put sandbags under it, lol. It's a good strat, that's a good strat. Let's see if we can get to 20 likes, guys. Let's see if we can get to 20 likes. Not asking, it just, you know, it helps out the channel, doesn't it? Right, let's keep going then. That is, yeah, they are tightly packed isobars. Jesus, I have not seen a storm like that for a long time. If that came off, we'd all be in the bin because it'd be very windy. Look at that! Look at the strong winds racking around the low there. I'll have a look on the other website in a minute. Move on to Icon then. Very similar for the next few days with winds in from the southwest, but obviously again could be a little bit colder at the surface. Has everything in line? It looks a bit off. That's all right. Then high pressure again, a little bit stronger to our north, which is keeping it cold up to about Wednesday. A little bit of a battleground, but the cold air does not get into the country properly. Then here comes the Atlantic. There's that big storm there, which actually is going to our north, so would still be quite windy, with winds in from the southwest. So that is a mild pattern now. That is very mild. But this low pressure system is going to our north, which is good. Get it away from us. We do not want that. That will probably be, and I'm not exaggerating, 100-mile-an-hour gusts wherever that hit. Would not be very pleasant. Along the western coast of Northern Ireland, it could be windy there at this point. Actually, no, it's not too bad. It doesn't look too bad there. Although it does encroach into parts of Republic of Ireland there and Northern Ireland. With that one, but obviously there's going to be a bit of messing around with these lows to see how far north they move in. There's a slight block, I don't know if you can see it, there's a slight block to our north, which is very weak, but it is preventing this low pressure from moving. It might be a bit stubborn and just bring bouts of rain to the country for a while. Now we'll have a look at the GFS. Oh dear, I've just seen that. There's another storm, that's from the thumbnail. Winds from the south-southwest, a little bit strong with the high pressure towards Greenland, but does still weaken out very quick. And then around Thursday, Friday, in comes the deluge with low pressure rattling in. There's another big stormy feature for the south there. We'll be bringing a named storm for the south, you'd expect there, with some very windy conditions on the southwest there. You'll be able to see the wind gusts there. Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that... Oh, 100 kilometres an hour gusts there, 80 miles an hour in the English Channel. You'd expect the winds to be actually stronger than that with that sort of system. But obviously there's a lot of messing around with these features. You might completely miss the UK. But it is very stormy, a bit colder as well, with winds in from the northwest on the back edge of these lows. Could allow a little bit of snow into the north and the west, but probably unexpectedly, and probably would not happen. Again, more Atlantic systems, weather fronts moving by day 10. Little few transient ridges in parts, though. That could allow things to be cold at night. Could be a few bits of frost and fog, but then the Atlantic returns for the end of the month into February. And then, wow, that is very mild. Winds in from Spain there, with winds in from the southwest at the very end. Well, that'll probably get the temps into the teens there. Very mild temperatures moving in. Wow. Temperature deviation is 10 to 12 degrees above average for the north there. If you like your mild weather, the GFS looks pretty good at the end of the run. It's so far out, though, it's nothing to thingy about because it's a long way off. But it is showing very wet, unsettled weather. I thought it'd be a bit stormier, but actually looks quite dry in the south for much of the run, besides there, around day 10. But just look how powerful the polar vortex is at this stage, the Stratospheric polar vortex, with just barrages of low pressure running in. That's just the power. It's like one of the strongest in years. the PV. So it's just going to continue to bring in this low pressure from off the Atlantic. Now I did just want to show North America, just to a minute here. You can just see this is the reason why the Atlantic is so strong. This is what's happening in America. So this is North America. As you can see, there is a big lobe of the polar vortex which is sinking southwards, bringing in a plethora of cold northerly winds, bringing in some extreme temperatures for many parts of America. You see 12 degrees below average covering much of the country, and this is what's causing the Atlantic to just power up. You can just see the low pressure spinning up to the north of North America, and they're just going to get shoved along the jet stream here, which is just going to continue, really. It just stays cold for much of the run, for much of America, through much of this run, which is causing all of the low pressures to run in from off the Atlantic for us, and that's causing the threats. The GM then next, the Canadian model, again very similar. Bit colder though, through Wednesday to Thursday, before low pressures start rattling in from off the Atlantic. There's that storm. It does just miss the UK, but it does get into Republic of Ireland, bringing in that mild air, very stormy conditions, and that would not be pleasant at all. But it's very stormy, but it does clear away before another low looks like it's about to push in from off the Atlantic there, and that does not look pleasant at all. It's not a great pattern if you want drier weather, to be honest. Have a look. That stormy low Britain being snow. It depends where it would be, but I'd assume it would just be really heavy rain. Best time of the year for strong winds, I remember 2022, a northerly wind came down from the north of 90 mile an hour gusts, and Newcastle blew a tree down outside my front gate. Jeez. Wicked, if it misses us, warn Europe, that needs some serious tracking. Yeah, they might need some warning if it does move eastwards. It would not take much adjustment for it to move. Glitter said, hello, good evening, hello to you, Glitter, how you doing? Could do with a bit of wind to get the windmill working a bit to help the soul, yeah. But not that extreme. You don't want it to be that extreme. It's too much. Epic videos. You look to be right. It's going to be mild and unsettled, probably. Definitely through the rest of Feb. So Hazel, you'll be happy, but might not be happy if your house is well, not at your house. What am I on about? If there's an absolute windstorm going on outside your house, but at least it'll be mild for you. But we don't want any of these storms to move in properly. They could cause some serious damage. With 950 millibar lows, that's probably at least 100 miles an hour near the centre of that low. Very strong winds surrounding that. Now, I haven't looked at this one yet, but we've got the ECM next. Let's see what that's showing then. Is everything in view? Yep. I haven't been showing that. There you go. Yeah, there might be. I don't know. I think March again. There's that low. Stays out to our west, but Northern Ireland will get battered. That does shove to our north, so that could be... Does fade away though, and then another low rattles in from off the Atlantic by day 10. Winds in from the west, so always mild and stormy and unsettled. It's not looking great. I did just want to point out, Wednesday, Thursday, there could be a few wintry flurries in the north, but nothing particular. The -5 line does move in, and some little bit colder air does move in for the north, so there could be a couple of wintry flakes around, but I wouldn't expect much at all. I just wanted to put that out there as well. But yeah, the ECM looks very unsettled and stormy as well. I don't know what's stopping this low from moving, and I assume it's this very weak area of higher pressure to our north, which is shoving it away. But I'm not sure, because surely that would just run in. But it is moving it to our north. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's this high pressure to our south, shoving it northwards. I'm not sure, though. No idea, to be honest. I actually have no idea. The AI model then next. This has been pretty accurate all winter. Again, a little bit colder through the weekend. Then there's that low for the south. A little bit of rain to the south. And then there comes the Atlantic back in with winds from the west-southwest. Oh dear. The AI model brings the low right across the middle of the country. The whole country with a deep area of low pressure, producing very strong winds. Heavy rains, probably flooding, and that's not great. With a mild sector in the middle of it, and that is very windy. Obviously, around the centre of the storm, there's the eye of the storm, you'd call it. It's the calmest, but around the edge of the low, you'd expect some very strong winds with that one. Because it's going right through. It's like a bullseye. It's like a dartboard low, that one. Going straight through the centre of the country. That is not pleasant at all. luckily it does weaken, but again, on its leading edge, with some very strong winds there, could produce some real issues for the southwest there. It's a long way off. It might not happen, but that's just showing the potential. Another low rattles in from off the Atlantic. Very unsettled, very stormy, and not pleasant to travel in at least. If we have a look at the GFS, this is the temperature profile for the next 2 weeks. And basically, the line, it's milder than average at the moment, but obviously it's cold at the surface. And then after that, it's just kind of average, really. There's not much deviation. There's a few milder runs, a few colder runs, a few more gathering around the 25th, 26th, a little bit colder, but nothing to get excited about. If you like colder weather, there's a few milder ones, a few colder ones, but nothing too much in the forecast there. Not much sign of a change, just looks kind of unsettled. If we have a look at snow out of interest, there's not much there to get interested about. Maybe around Thursday, Friday, but that's not going to do anything, especially for where I am in Barnsley. Nothing really doing. The precipitation charts, though, they are very unsettled from the 23rd. There's just loads of rain spikes popping up, loads of precipitation spikes popping up. Not much interest there. There you go. The ECM next then. This is the 6-week chart. It's going to have to move everything. 38 of you watching. Cheers all for watching. Much appreciated. Didn't expect to have so many of you in here as well. So this is the first week. This is taking us from... This is the mean sea level pressure anomalies. So this is taking us from the 20th of Jan to the 27th of Jan. So the first week. And you can see low pressure just out to our west. High pressure out to our north and east. Very close to being a Scandinavian high, but not quite. Winds with that are in from the southwest, or the south, and it's very unsettled there. You can see a very similar pattern with the 500 millibar heights, with the winds up from northern parts of Africa, but not exactly anything mild. Milder, like ridiculously mild, not like heat wave or anything. Temperature anomalies 1 to 3 degrees above average for much of the country. I haven't loaded that. And precipitation, as you can see, is wetter than average to our west and drier than average to our east and northeast. We're kind of in the middle, but a little bit more, little bit wetter than average. The second week of the 27th of Jan to the 3rd of Feb, and this does not look great if you want cold or dry. Low pressure is centred to our north and west. High pressure centred to our east. And winds are in from a very mild southwesterly wind direction. Very similar with the 500 millibar heights again, with winds in from the southwest. And temperature anomalies are again above average, actually going quite strongly above average for many parts of Western Europe there. 3 to 6 degrees above average in parts of Norway, Sweden and Scandinavia. And the precipitation then next is wetter than average for the whole of the UK. And even into parts of Spain, Portugal and the northern... Well, not Norway regions, the Norwegian regions, whatever they're called. Week 3, the 3rd to the 10th, again, very unsettled. Low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. Winds are in from the southwest, mild, wet, and windy, especially in the north. Again, very similar. And, well, again, 1 to 3 degrees above average. Precipitation, again, wetter than average. Does look like an absolute onslaught of the Atlantic. Week 4, slightly better. Not great. Low pressure still centred to our north, but not as dominant. High pressure is weak to the south, but is there. Winds are in from more of a westerly direction. Still mild. Probably wettest conditions in the north. Temperature anomalies are still 1 to 3 degrees above average, and precipitation is still slightly wetter than average to our north, dry than average to our south. Still probably a bit unsettled. Week 5 sees strengthening of high pressure just to our south towards France and the Netherlands and the UK. Low pressure to our north still, winds in from the west. No point drawing it out anymore, it's just mild, wet and windy and stormy, and again, precipitation dry than average to our south and for the parts of the south and east, but it's a long way out. Wetter than average to our north, doesn't look great. Do we see any change by week 6 into March? No. It still looks high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, winds in from the west, northwest. Now, this pattern would not go on for this long. I'm pretty sure there would be northerly shocks, little variations at least. This is quite remarkable if this came off. It's just, again, 1 to 3 degrees average. February would be one of the mildest months on record if that happened, because it's just mild all the time. These are the weekly anomalies from the ECM ensembles for the midnight suite of runs. Apologies there. This is taking us to the 27th of January. Let me move these so you can see them properly. There we go. Hello to Soup. I'll go through the chat in a minute again because I've been going through everything. 16 members of the ECM have high pressure centred towards Scandinavia and to our north, with a barrage of low pressure running in from off the Atlantic. Winds are in from the southwest, mild, wet and windy. 14 with low pressure over the top of the country, mild, wet and windy. 11 with high pressure blocking to the north, but low pressure's running in from the south, winds in from the west, southwest, very mild. And 10 with high pressure to our east, low pressure to the west, and winds are in from a very mild southerly direction. That's the best option if you want mild and drier, unless you live in the west, of course. 2 weeks' time, wow, these are the worst ensemble charts I've ever seen. 20 with low pressure to our north and west, high pressure to our south and east towards France, and winds are in from the southwest. 20 with low pressure to our west, probably running in from off the Atlantic there, and southwesterly winds for the south. And 11 with high pressure, which could be slightly more interesting with winds in maybe from the east. But again, low pressures to our west. That could be more a Scandinavian high, so it could be a bit colder with that option. We'll take a look at the experimental CFS run, see if that's showing anything interesting. A little bit colder with the CFS, with slightly colder northerly winds. And then in comes the Atlantic. Gets a block towards Scandinavia going. Doesn't quite verify because the Atlantic's way too powerful. Winds from the south and southwest. Again, tries to have a go at building. Look at this, it's quite interesting actually. The CFS tries to build some high pressure towards Scandi and does successfully, bringing in some very cold air from the northeast for parts of Western Europe, but not the UK, which stays on the mild side of this with warm air evection. Look at the cold pool to our east, and bye-bye, it never gets there. Look how cold it is there for parts of Scandinavia with the CFS run. It's obviously experimental, wouldn't take it too literally, but again, shows the pattern which could have happened, what could have been if the Atlantic wasn't so powerful. Keeps it going, wow. Very mild February, and, wow, gets colder around March. What do you know? Of course it does. 5th of March, and then it brings down a cold northerly wind when you don't want it, with the -5 line, the -10 line, sinking southwards. But that is a disappointing CFS run, to say the least. There will be cold northerly shots at times, I guarantee it. There will be some snow in the north, especially in the north, could be in the east, and probably in the west. But that's not great, is it? Let's be honest. That's not great. It's not great. Let's have a look. Let me have a read through the chat. Definitely going to get another big blast of wind to get the high will move out of the way. Definitely will, I think. Bullseye. Yeah, it is a dartboard low on that one. Dartboard low, new ever terminology, well said, cheers. I don't know, I just thought that's what I'd call it. Honestly, just making the best of the weather we have at the moment. Can't wait for Send It's Weather channel in the summer. Yeah, there'll definitely be some summer updates. Scotland will get tail end of the low. Real high winds. Alright, cheers David for the positive messages. Spring's not far away. I have daffodils and snowdrops coming up in the garden. That's nice. Hi, perfect picnics. You're not right. You're not wrong, Mr. Hexagon. There could be some very stormy conditions. Yep, definitely. Epic Video says free fun facts about weather. Rain has a smell of geosmin. Rain falls at 22 miles an hour. Snow isn't white because it's translucent. That is very true. The third one definitely. I'm not sure about the other two, but yeah. I've never actually smelled rain. I mean, I'm not judging anyone, but I've never actually smelled rain. James said, what a difference a few days makes. Yep, of course. Most had Scandinavian high, now to this. Probably say let's hope they change again. Not uncommon for both sides of the Atlantic to be cold. That is true. I think we'll have a cold, snowy spring. I'm sure you're hoping against that, Hazel, but you never know. Rain definitely has a smell. I've never smelled rain, though. I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong? I never smell rain. Oh. How did the viewers just shoot down from 42 to 25? I don't know. Old Mars Almaric saying stormy cold Feb. Some people say snow has a smell too. Can't say. I haven't smelt it. We don't get enough snow anyway to smell it if we even wanted to. Not that I want to. No. Old Mars Almanac saying stormy cold Feb. I've just read that. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure, really. Right, well, let's keep the cold going with the CFS. Yeah, it does actually. Keeps the winds in from the east, so -5 line stays. This will be a very cold start to March there, which is typical. Stormy, wet and cold, with a -5 line in for much of the first week of March. That would be a bit more interesting for cold weather fans, but a lot of people will probably want spring to be on the arrival then. But then, of course, the cold returns. Cold northerly winds return around March as always. March many weathers. Then go from 14 degrees to 1 degree. It's just one of those months that is so variable. There you go. Right, I want to have a look at this storm, which the GFS is bringing in, actually. Can we see that then? There's that snow for the north. I said there could be a little bit. Here comes that low. It's producing a little bit of snow, actually, on its leading edge. Look, a little bit of colder air. Oh, snow event for the south there. Look at that. Little bit in the west there. Western Wales. Oh, everyone's getting excited now. That's definitely not going to happen, I'm telling you. No snow is expected for a while. But that is a little bit of snow on its leading edge before it turns back to rain. And very heavy rain at that as well. But GFS is producing quite a bit of snow there, actually. I'm surprised. It would not happen, though. But all I care about is the winds. Like, how strong are these winds going to be with this low? It's pushing through. Let's have a look. Some 70 mile an hour gusts in the English Channel there. A few 50 miles an hour. It's a bit low, actually, than expected. Let's have a look at the GEM, which always gets it wrong. But you never know. It might be right. Might be right for a change. Let's have a look. Is that centered properly? There we go. There we go. Let's keep going. Yeah, wet and windy. And there's a storm there. Let's have a look at the wind speeds there with the GEM. Alright, so it's windy. Not as windy as I expected, though, with these systems. I think they're underdoing it, and it's too far out anyway. There's the strong winds in the west, though, with that deep low pressure. They are staying out to our west, thank goodness, with the GEM. 50 to 60 miles an hour winds. The GEM always does bad, though, with this sort of thing, so wouldn't trust it too much. UK Met, wrong one. The UK Met wind gusts, then, if it goes out that far. A few windy spells. There's the winds moving into the southwestern Wales there. 50, 60 miles an hour expected there. Well, there we go then. Again, CFS keeps extending. It is cold zonality. It is actually a bit cold there with the CFS, as you'd expect, of course, when we don't want it. But there you go. Well, let's have a look at the chat. Let's have a look. Let's have a read. So, I should be on Britain's Got Talent. Bowling Thunderstorm, man. Yeah. Hello to you. Dexter, hello to you. Hello, Cindy. I may be in Miami at the moment, but I do love hearing about my home country. Nice to see there was upcoming weathermen like yourself. Cheers. Cheers. Yeah, good grades. I need them. I do need them. It's easy. We'll get there. I'm going to get there, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about the bowling alley. Sounds quite good. I'll say we'll be below average all year. May get sunny, but still cold or cool. Says John. Feb's definitely going to be mild. I'm telling you now, Feb is definitely going to be above average, in my opinion. Might be wrong, but I'm still saying Feb's going to be above average. This month with the CET is slightly below average at the moment, I think. Hello to Oscar's meteorology interest. Hello to you, sir. Let me go back. I actually have the Hadley CET website up. I'll pull it up 1 minute. Hadley CET. Here we go. So, oh god, I'm going to have to zoom in. 1 minute. Here we go. My face cam's in the way. Shall I get rid of it? This is provisional to the 16th. Don't like looking at my face on the screen. So, provisional to the 16th. The temperature, the central England temperature, is sitting at 2.5 degrees. What's happened? Can't see what I'm looking at, but it is 1.3 degrees below average, provisional to today, or yesterday. That will continue to rise. I would expect it to rise to about 4. I don't know. It depends on the positioning of the high. It could actually be below average month somehow, but I'd just not expect it to be. If it's going to be so mild, wet and windy at the end of the month, it's going to rise quick. The CET, it's just going to rise sharply. So I'm not sure really. Callum's weekly weather. Hello. I'm in the far west north of the UK, so I will get hit hard by any storms. Of course you will. Yeah, you're in a bad spot there, Callum. If you want dry weather. Will be below every day up there can be lane text or lanes. Actually get oiled for my lane. Huge area of low pressure hit just 90 miles west of the UK. It caused 85-mile-an-hour winds in nearby Faroe Islands. Damn, that's quite strong. Yeah, that would probably cause some damage. There's any chance of storms next weekend, says Callum. Yeah, we'll have a look. We'll have a quick look. I think that's when we're looking at, actually. 32, you're still in here. Cheers, you legends, for watching this long. Let me have a look. GFS. 24th, 25th. Yeah, could be a bit stormy around 26th. I'd say there. 25th does look interesting, but it could actually be a bit colder actually on the back edge of these lows. But not specific. 24th and 23rd looks the most unsettled to me. 25th, 26th looks like there's a bit of a break before the next barrage of Atlantic winds winds in from the southwest and stuff, and bringing the Atlantic low pressure systems in from off the Atlantic for the air warm, cools, and condenses to form more clouds. It's gonna be very cloudy. Bowling Fun Storm Man, hope you enjoy yourself. Will it have a restaurant and a bar? Should you want a snack and a drink? Probably, I'd assume so. That's quite cool, actually, Bowling. You better better make a video on that. John said parts of Russia got -60. Yeah. Dexter said, "Oh, you went to okay. I'll leave that one." For leaks, that's quite interesting. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I think I've gone through everything. I think I've exhausted everything. Apart from the ECM charts, they're coming out. So we'll have a quick look at them if they're out on time. If they're not, then we'll wrap things up. Don't want to drag up too much of your time anyway. Yes, they have just updated. Right, we'll go through these very quickly. Let me pull these up. Does anyone want to have a look at Strat? Put a yes if you want to see Strat data, because I actually don't know what it's like. I have not looked at it. So let's have a look and see if there's any more interest with these charts. No, there is not. It's mild, wet, and windy with the ECM again. Again, it's probably going to be above average. Those temperatures have come down a little bit. They were 1 to 3 degrees above average before on the first week charts. And now they're showing slightly lower. So something's happened there. It looks a bit cooler than yesterday's. Let me have a look. Definitely cooled down. Look, 1 to 3 degrees above average. And then it's changed to 0 to 1 degrees above average. Well, that's a bit of a change, isn't it? Yeah. There you go, then. Guess it's not going to be as mild as they thought for central Britain anyway. It's still going to be milder than average. It's not to worry about. But it is interesting that it has come down a little bit. Look. That does look a lot redder than that one. So that's just... maybe it's nothing. It's nothing. Let's have a look through the rest of the weeks. Week 2, milder than average. Week 3, week 4, week 5, week... Yeah, it's very mild. Very mild. Not much to say about that. Just mild, wet, and windy with the ECM charts there. So there we go. Well, let me just make sure I've read everyone's chattios. So we'll go. The no Redditch teams come around to battle. Yeah, it's annoying when people ruin nice things, isn't it? Hopefully they won't. Dexter said, yes, I'm a blood splatter analyst. Well, that sounds quite interesting, actually. Also, someone who I know wants to get all into forensics and like investigating crimes. I bet it's quite interesting actually to do. On crime scenes, I look at blood to get an idea of what the perpetrator has done. Not the most fun, but it is. I bet it's quite interesting. Don't diss the job. I bet it's quite interesting actually. Obviously blood, but you get used to it when you see it so much. USA getting bare snow. UK gets blank rain. Lol. Yeah, it always does, doesn't it? Let's shout. I need to stop shouting. Meteo Ciel then, because you all wanted to see the strat data. So we'll bring them up very quickly then. Boom and boom. And let me make sure everything's zoomed in. Still 35 of your legends here. I'm not sure why 35 of you are still listening to me rambling on about rubbish, but, you know. It's great to see that it's not just snow that brings the people in. Because I like some people. I like all times of weather. I don't just like it when it snows. Don't get me wrong. I like it when it snows. Let me have a look. Right, this is the strat data then associated with that. So for the next few days, the strat is it was being under pressure, but this warming has slowly decreased. Then it does power up later on, so through around the 25th of Jan, it does power up again. Little minor warming, but it's not going to do much to the polar vortex. It's quite powerful. Does warm a little bit, but then again it weakens, and the PV's back in business. Another warming gets going again. It just keeps bringing these little warmings in, but it's not going to affect the PV. I'm not expecting a sudden stratospheric warming this year. It's not going to penetrate the PV and collapse it out. I don't think they're expecting an SSW this year. Well, the AMOC collapse, what does everyone think about that? I still don't know about it, to be honest. Dexter said, to get their experience on the field. I don't know if they'd like me to. I mean, I can ask them. Dexter, I'm not sure if I want to, name names on here, and if they want to keep it all private, but I'll ask them and see if they, if they're still interested in it. They were before. I'll ask them about it. It's just someone who I've known for quite a while. Bowling for someone, like once I was in the bus station minding my own business and 30 teams pulled up and tried to intimidate me for no reason. Yeah, I'm not sure. The perfectly timed Oscars meteorology Britain equals, and then the poop emoji comes up. That does sound scary. At least you were safe after that. That I bet it was one of the scariest things you've had. You're autistic, yeah. It's yeah. Cheers for joining us, Dexter, on the thing. Duty calls, yeah. Get back to that. Much more important than me doing this. Britain equals rain. I know. Have you seen USA? I mean, some right pictures. I'll put them on at some point. But I've got a few pictures sent in from some people from Twitter. Cheers to people that sent me some in. But yeah, it looks quite bad in some parts, especially this polar plunge. It looks quite bad. What's South Pole doing? I'm not sure. I think it's just warming, to be honest. But yeah, bowling, I'm sure that was a bit scary. All had knives, jeez. Yeah. Well, at least you're safe. That's the main thing, isn't it? Yeah, Shiny, you're right. Ripple effect in the high latitudes, yeah, over a week later. Yeah, I'm not sure. I just think it's just going to be mild. It's always mild, isn't it? CFS, let's see if it's updated anymore. Well, it's updated a lot more, let's see. Any more colder weather? A bit colder at times. Not too much interest, really. Few northerly plungers there around the end of March. Oh, there you go. There's a Scandi high. Look, develops in middle of March when you don't want it, and then boom. In comes the easterly winds. Snowy in the south and the east when you don't want it, and then it fades away. Because remember, in March, at the end of March, it's not going to do much. It's not going to settle or anything. It's going to feel cold, but any sunshine, it's just going to clear away. Like easterly's not very potent either. There's no cold air there to support it, so it just kind of breaks away. But there you go. I'm not going to waffle on anymore and waste any more of your time. But I do hope you enjoyed the stream. I've gone through everything I can. I've gone through lots of things though, and what I would say is it looks like it is going to turn mild, wet, and windy. Next few days might be a bit cold, so wrap up warm. Might look mild on those charts, but it's going to feel quite cold at the surface with some frost and fog around. Then after that, it does look very unsettled. Gonna have to watch some name storms. Might be a few videos on that. Obviously, we don't want them to be too severe or anything, but I'll keep you posted on that. Cheers to everyone that's joined, all the regulars. Much appreciated to see you all. I know I've had a few days away, but I've just been doing other things. But my priority is back on this again, so expect a few videos over the weekend. My granny always used to say it gets colder in the UK 7 to 10 days after the USA gets a cold blast. Yeah, people used to say that. I'm not sure. I just have to run to an owner in a store I know. Well, at least you've got someone that you can run to. Man, they always pick on people who they think are the weakest. They always pick on people that are on their own, which is why I don't like being on my own, especially at night. It's not nice, is it? It's not nice at all to be on your own or anything. But that's why I try to avoid those times being in like town or whatever, in Barnsley town or whatever. But there you go. Once that starts February, yeah, definitely. It's every time I reluctantly visit the actual town, yeah. But yeah. So cheers all for watching. At least everyone's safe and well. And subscribe if you're new. Leave a like on the stream and the channel if you enjoy the content, and you feel free to donate if you want to, but you don't need to. Hey, I just keep making the videos anyway, just to watch. is just a watch is appreciated, and love reading all your comments anyway. So yeah, here's a sub, here's a like, and I'll see you all in the next stream/video. Not sure what it is yet, but cheers. Oh bloody hell, Mr. Hexagon. What do you think the highest temperature will be this year? 37. Right, note it down in your notepad, and that's definitely going to happen. Right, I'll see you all later.